Hello guys, welcome to my channel Cracking IELTS 9.0. So today I am back with a new passage. As you can see, the passage reads Alfred Wegener, Science Exploration and the Theory of Continental Drift by Maud Greene. So on your left hand side you can see the passage, and on your right hand side you can see the questions here. So the questions are from 27 to 40 in total. Okay. The first set of questions is yes, no, not given. The second set is fill in the blanks, but with options here. And the final set is like multiple choice questions. Okay. So I suggest you guys to watch the whole video because I'll be giving away a lot of tips and tricks and some new strategies on how to answer these questions, right? So for each set of question, we have a different strategy. I mean, for yes, no, not given, we have a different strategy. For fill in the blanks, we have a different strategy. Okay. For multiple choice, we have different tips and tricks. So I suggest you to go through the whole video. Okay. Instead of skipping that, if you skip, then you might miss a good strategy. So yeah, for all the students and people who are willing to crack the IELTS test, okay, I suggest you to go through the whole video and follow my tips and tricks so that you can crack the IELTS reading especially very easily. Okay, so here we have to just match the synonyms and paraphrases. So let's not waste any time and let's look at the paragraph. Okay, so here we have the questions yes, no, not given. You have to write yes, okay, if the statement agrees with the claims of the writer, no if it is contradicting, and not given if it is impossible to say what the writer thinks about it. I mean, if there is no information in the passage about the given question, then it will be not given. Okay, so let's read the passage paragraph one by one and we'll try to understand. Okay, yes. So, introduction. This is a book about the life and scientific work of Alfred Wegener, whose reputation today rests with his theory of continental displacements, better known as continental drift. Okay. So Wegener proposed this theory in 1912 and developed it extensively for nearly 20 years. His book on the subject, The Origin of Continents and Oceans, went through 4 editions and was the focus of an international controversy in his lifetime and for some years after his death. Okay. Okay, that's a good paragraph, the good introduction there. Okay, let me read the questions first. So, Wagner's ideas about continental drift were widely disputed while he was alive. Okay, so the question is whether the ideas were disputed while he was alive or not. Where did we read? We have just read it in the last sentence, right? So his book on the subject went through 4 editions and was the focus of international controversy in his lifetime. Wow. Yes. So in his lifetime when he was alive. And for some years after his death also it was a controversy, right? So what do you think, guys? What is the answer? Is this sentence and this sentence, are they the same? They are the same, right? So Wegener's ideas about continental drift were widely disputed. What is the synonym for this? Widely disputed means international controversy. These two are synonyms. While he was alive, in his lifetime. Yes, good. So everything is matching here. This is exactly what the writer meant. So what should be your answer, guys? So the answer is yes, right? Okay, so I'll write it here. So the answer for this one should be yes. Okay. I'll just take this one. Yeah, right. So let's move to the next question. Okay, the idea that the continent remained fixed in place was defended in a number of respected scientific publications. Okay, he's talking about some publications and continents. Okay, let's read the next paragraph. We might find something there. Okay. So, Wagner's basic idea was that many mysteries about the Earth's history could be solved if one supposed that the continents moved laterally rather than supposing that they remained fixed in place. Okay, so fixed in place, we got one keyword here. Okay, let's read further. So, Wagner showed in great detail how such continental movements were plausible and how they worked using evidence from a large number of sciences, including geology, geophysics, paleontology, and climatology. Okay. So Wagner's idea that the continents move is at the heart of the theory that guides earth sciences today, so namely plate tectonics. So plate tectonics is in many respects quite different from Wagner's proposal, in the same way that modern evolutionary theory is very different from the ideas Charles Darwin proposed in 1850s about biological evolution. Okay, right. Yet the plate tectonics is descendant of Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift in quite the same way that modern evolution theory is the descendant of Darwin's theory of selection, natural selection. Okay. Okay. So he's talking about a lot of aspects here. Let us see. The idea that the continents remained fixed in place was defended. He's talking about the idea is defended in a number of respected scientific publications. Okay. Mm, let's. Did we read anything? Where did we read the scientific publications? Anything like that? So Wegener's basic idea was that many mysteries about Earth's history could be solved. Okay, this is fine. Wegener showed in great detail how the continental movements was possible. Okay, this geology, geophysics, all these were sciences. Okay, so Wegener's idea is that the heart of the theory that guides Earth sciences today, plate tectonics. So it is in many respects quite different from Wegener's proposal. Okay, in the same way that modern evolution theory is very different. Okay. So, did we read anything about scientific publications here? Where is it mentioned in the paragraph? Did we read anything? I didn't read anything. So, what should be the answer, guys? Because we did not read anything about scientific publications, it is nowhere given, right? So, what should be our answer? Should be not given, right? Yes. So, not given is my answer. Right. Let's move to the next question. Wagner relied on a limited range of scientific fields to support his theory of continental drift. Okay. Now he's talking about whether he relied on a limited range of scientific fields. What do you mean by scientific fields? He spoke about something here, right? Yeah. So Wegener showed in great detail how continental movements were plausible and how they worked. Okay, using evidence from a large number of sciences. See, this is the answer. Large number. Here he says large number, but here he says limited range of fields. So what is the answer? You should be getting it by now, right? So large number of sciences, including geology, geophysics, paleontology, and these things. So it is a large number of sciences within that, which includes these four fields. Okay. So Wagner relied on limited range of fields. No, it was a very large number. So it is completely opposite in meaning. So what is the answer, guys? It should be no, right? Yes. So this one was pretty easy here, right? So answer is no because it is completely opposite in meaning. Then the similarities between Wagner's theory of continental drift and modern day plate tectonics are enormous. Okay. Okay, he says now Wagner's theory and plate tectonics they are similar. Same similarities. He's talking about similarities which are enormous. He says there are too many similarities. Is it right or no? Now let us read the next sentence from here. Wagner's idea that the continents move is that the heart of the theory that guides earth sciences today, namely plate tectonics. Okay, he introduced the word here. Now, plate tectonics is in many respects quite different from Wagner's proposal in the same way that modern theory is very different from Charles Darwin theory. Okay, now here we have the answer, guys. In this sentence, we have the answer. What do you think? Tell me. So plate tectonics in many respects is quite different from Wagner's proposal. Yes, here is your answer. He says plate tectonics in many respects it is different from Wagner's proposal, but here he says the similarities between Wagner and plate tectonics are enormous. How is it possible? No, right? Opposite meaning. Here it is said it is quite different. Here it is said it is similar. Similarities are enormous means it is very similar. That's what we want to say. So it is again it is opposite meaning. So what is the answer, guys? What should be our answer? It should be no, right? Okay. So, yes. So, let's move to the next set of questions here. So, next we have fill in the blanks, okay? But for fill in the blanks, we have some options here, A to J. Okay, so we have to write the alphabet A, B, C, D, like we have to write the alphabets. Okay, so please be careful here. You have to first find the word. Okay, then match the word with the synonym here. Okay, you may not have the exact, you may not have the same word here in the passage. Okay, you have to match the word with the synonym and write the alphabet here. So it is a bit tricky. Okay. So please be patient and please be focused. Okay. Now, one of the remarkable things about Wagoner from a dash is that although he proposed a theory of continental drift, he was not a geologist. Okay. Okay, let us read this paragraph first. Maybe this is about Wagner's life and work, right? So here we can see Wagner's life and work. So maybe this paragraph actually has all the answers. So let us read the paragraph first. When I started writing about Wagner's life and work, one of the most intriguing things about him for me was that although he came up with a theory of continental drift, he was not a geologist. Yes, good. Okay. He trained as an astronomer and pursued a career in astronomical physics. When he proposed the theory of continental displacements in 1912, he was a lecturer in physics and astronomy at the University of Marburg, okay, in southern Germany. However, he was not unknown. In 1906, he had set a world record with his brother Kurt for time aloft in a hot air balloon, 52 hours. Bet- okay, so between 1906 and 1908, he had taken part in a highly publicized and extremely dangerous expedition to the coast of northeast Greenland. Okay. He had also made a name for himself amongst a small circle of meteorologists and astronomical physicists in Germany as the author of the textbook thermodynamics at the atmosphere of the atmosphere and of a number of interesting scientific papers. Okay. So there are a lot of details about his personal life here, right? So yeah, it should be easy for us to answer this. Now, let us read the question. One of the remarkable things about Wegener from a dash is that although he proposed a theory of continental, he was not a geologist. Okay, I think the first sentence, right? When I started writing about Wegener's life and work, one of the most intriguing things about him for me was that although he came up with a theory of continental drift, he was not a geologist. Yes, exactly same sentence. So, what should be the answer? One of the remarkable about Wagner from a dash. From A means when I started writing about, okay, yes, when I started writing. Okay, so one of the most intriguing things means one of the remarkable things for him was that although he came up with a theory of continental drift, although he proposed a theory of continental drift, he was not a geologist. All the sentence is the same, but only this one we have to match. Means when I started writing about him, so writing should be the answer. And what is similar to writing that we have to find out. Okay, modest fame, no. Writing means a vast range, no. Record breaking achievements, no. Research methods, select group, no. Professional interests, no. From A, it says from A dash. Scientific debate, hazardous exploration, biographer's perspective, narrow investigation. Okay, this thing, see, when I started writing means a biographer's perspective, right? Biography means this Green A is the biographer of Wegener's life, right? So, from a biographer's perspective, he was not a geologist. That's what he says. So, writing is the word here, guys. Writing is the right word. For the synonym for writing is this biographer's perspective. So, what should be 31? And it should exactly fit into the sentence. See, about one of the remarkable things about Wagner from a biographer's perspective is that, so yes, it is exactly fitting into the sentence, right? So, yes, so my answer is I. It should be I. Okay. Next, His dash were limited to atmospheric physics. So atmospheric physics is the keyword. So where did we read about that? Here, atmospheric physics. Now let's read it. He trained as an astronomer, okay, and pursued a career in atmospheric physics. That's what is. So his career was limited to atmospheric physics career. So what is the synonym similar to career? That's what we have to find out. Career. Okay, modest fame career, no. Vast range, no. Record-breaking achievement, no. Research methods, no. This career is something different. Professional interests, wow. Professional interest is something I'm really interested in. So professional interest and career, these two are matching, guys. These two words are exactly matching. So yes, and it should exactly fit into the sentence. His professional interests were limited to atmospheric physics. Yes, this word is exactly fitting into that. So yes, my answer is professional interest. It should be a fear. Yes, got it. Next sentence. However, at that time he proposed his theory of continental drift in 1912. He was already a person of dash. Okay, he was already something. So 1912 is the keyword. When he proposed the theory of continental displacement in 1912, he was a lecturer, okay, in physics and astronomy at the University of Marburg in southern Germany. Yes, so that is very simple. However, he was not unknown. Okay, till here we have to read this. Okay. In 1906 means it will go to the next sentence, 6 years previously. Okay. So 1912 is the keyword, guys. So in 1912, he was a lecturer in what? In physics and astronomy. Okay, in southern Germany. However, he was not unknown. He was not unknown means he was famous that time. He was already famous. Yeah, that's what he means. So, however, the time he proposed this theory in 1912, he was already a person of dash. I mean, he's already famous. He's not unknown. Unknown. What is the synonym for unknown? That we should find out here. Unknown, modest fame. Oh, wow. First one itself, it is cracker. Unknown. He has modest fame. He was famous. That's what I was trying to say. He was already a person of modest fame. Yes, this word should fit into this blank. So yes, modest fame is the right answer, and I'll be writing here. So my answer is A. Okay, so yep. Next, 6 years previously, there had been his dash of 52 hours in the hot air balloon, followed by his well publicized but dash of Greenland's coast. Okay. Now, what was given? In 1906 means 6 years previously, right? He had set a world record, okay, for the time aloft in hot air balloon, 52 hours. Yes, exactly. So there had been his world record of 52 hours. So what is the synonym for world record? That should be my answer. So which one is better? You tell me. World record, a record breaking achievement. Is it matching, guys? Yes or no? Is it matching? World record, a record breaking achievement. Yes, very well done. So this should be alphabet C. Yes, it was very easy. This one is very easy, guys. Okay. So followed by his well publicized but dash of Greenland's coast. So Greenland is the key word. Where did we read about that? So between 1906 and 8, he had taken part in a highly publicized and extremely dangerous expedition to the coast of Greenland. Yes. So what is the word here? There had been his dash, okay, followed by his well publicized but dash of Greenland's coast. What is that? Yes, highly publicized and extremely dangerous expedition to the Greenland's coast. So, extremely dangerous expedition is our answer. But what is the synonym for that? That we have to find out. So, extremely dangerous expedition. Which word is matching? Hazardous exploration. Is it matching or not? H. Hazardous exploration is nothing but extremely dangerous expedition. Yes or no? So, what is my answer, guys? Yes. Alphabet H should be the answer. I hope it is easy for you guys to understand. Okay, please keep focusing. So, with the publication of his textbook on thermodynamics, he had also come to the attention of a dash of German scientists. So this is the keyword, German scientists. Now, he had also made a name for himself among a small circle, okay, of meteorologists and atmospheric physicists in Germany, means German scientists, these guys are, as the author of the textbook. Okay, so what is the answer, guys? Come on. He also came into attention of a dash of. Attention means this. He had also made a name for himself, means attention among a small circle. So small circle is my answer. So small circle. What is the synonym for small circle here? Any word? Any word? Select group. Okay. Yes. Select group is nothing but a small circle. Yes. That is my answer. That is nothing. Yes. So this one is also quite easy, guys. Okay. This passage was easy. There's nothing much difficult about it. And yes. Let's move to the next set of questions. I think we have answered all these questions, right? Yeah. What is the next set? It is like, yeah. So it is like multiple choice questions, right? Now let's not waste any time. What is Mott Greene doing in the fifth paragraph? Now he's talking about fifth. What this is third paragraph, right? Okay, this is fourth and this one is fifth paragraph. So let us read this fifth paragraph without wasting any time. Okay, right. Readers interested in specific detail of Wagner's career will see that he often stopped pursuing a given line of investigation, okay, sometimes for years on end, okay, only to pick it up later. Okay, okay. I have tried to provide guidepost to his rapidly shifting interest by characterizing different phases of his life as careers in different sciences, okay, which is reflected in the titles of chapters, okay. Thus, the index should be sufficient guide for those interested, okay, in a particular aspect of Wagner's life, but perhaps not all of it, okay. My own feeling is that the parts do not make as much sense on their own as do all of his activities taken together. In this respect, I urge readers to try to experience Wagner's life as he lived it, with all the interruptions, changes of mind, and the renewed efforts this entailed. Okay, right, no problem. So, yes. Now, what is he doing in the fifth paragraph? Describing what motivated him to write the book. Okay. Is he describing anything? This is the keyword. What motivated him to write the book? Did he read about that? Let us see. Did he talk about his motivation? Readers interested will see that often stop pursuing. Read this. I have tried to provide this. Okay. Index should be sufficient. Okay. My own feeling is that I asked these readers. Okay. So, did he talk about his motivation to write the book? I did not read anything what motivated him, right? So, yes, obviously A cannot be the answer. Okay. Next, B, explaining why it is desirable to read the whole book. Okay. Is he explaining why it is desirable? The reason to read this book, why it is desirable to read the book. Okay. So readers interested in the specific detail of Wagner's career will see, okay, okay, so readers interested, okay, desirable, interested, okay, will see that he often stopped pursuing the line of investigation, okay, I have tried to provide for rapidly shifting interest by characterizing the phases of his life, which is reflected in the titles, okay, thus index should be a sufficient guide for those interested in the particular aspects of Wagner's life, but perhaps not all of it. Okay. My own feeling is that the parts do not make as much sense as their own, as do all of his activities taken together. Okay. So, in this respect, I urge the readers, okay. So, he's asking readers to try to experience Wagner's life as he lived it with all those interruptions, changes of mind. Okay, so explaining why it is desirable, it can be. It can be. B can be the answer, but I am keeping it on hold for some time. Let us read C and D as well, okay? Suggesting why Wegener pursued so many different careers. Suggesting. Is he suggesting? Why Wagner pursued so many different careers? Wagner's career will see, okay, readers interested in the specific detail of Wagner's career will see that he often stopped pursuing a given line of investigation and to pick up it later. Okay, I have tried to provide guideposts to his rapidly shifting interest. Okay, his interest was shifting sometimes. Okay, because that's why he took maybe different phases of his life. He mentioned it as a different careers in different sciences. Okay, I'm not sure about C. I think he's not suggesting anything here. Okay, suggestion is not there, so this cannot be the answer. And indicating what aspects of Wagner's life interested him. Okay, indicating what aspects of Wagner's life interested him the most. Mm, no, sir, I did not read about like what is his interest. Okay, what aspects are interesting of his life. No, he mentioned some things that his mind is rapidly shifting. Okay, his interests are shifting. That he mentioned, but indicating what aspects for life. No, he did not mention anything like this. So I think B should be the right answer. Okay, because explaining why it is desirable to read the whole book. Yes, why it is desirable, tell me. Because the thing is, this one index should be sufficient guide for those interested in a particular aspect of Wagner's life, but perhaps not all of it. So my feeling is that parts do not make as much sense as whole of it activities taken together. So he's urging the readers to try to experience his life. Yes, because that would be interesting. So this is the reason why it is desirable to read the whole book. Yes, so 37 should be B. And then, yes, let's move to the next one. What is said about Veda in the sixth paragraph? Okay, let us read what it is said in the sixth paragraph. Wagner left behind a few published works, but was a standard practice. These reported the results of his work, not the journey he took to reach that point. Okay, only a few hundred of many thousands of letters he wrote and received in his lifetime have survived, and he didn't keep notebooks or diaries that recorded his life and activities. Okay, he was not active in scientific societies and did not seek to find influence or advance his ideas through professional contacts or politics, spending most of his time at home in his study reading and writing or in the field collecting observations. Wow. Okay, now what is he said about Wagner? Okay, he was not a particularly ambitious person. Oh, wow. Yes, I think EA is bit matching because what I read is that he was not active in scientific societies. Okay. Okay. And he did not use his influence. Okay. And he did not use professional contacts or politics. Right. He was spending most of the time at home, just reading and writing. It means he was not an ambitious person. Yes, A is matching, guys. A is a bit matching. But let us read other options as well. He kept a record of all his scientific observations. No, it is opposite. So he left behind, and these published work. Only a few hundred of many thousand letters were a lifetime. Uh, and he did not see. He didn't keep notebooks or diaries that recorded his life and activities. Here he said he kept a record of all his observations. No, it is exactly opposite meaning. Then he did not adopt many of the scientific practices of the time. In this passage, he did not talk about any adoptions, right? Adopting scientific practices, he did not talk. So it cannot be answered. Next, he enjoyed discussing new discoveries with other scientists. No, he did not talk about that. Nothing is said that he enjoyed discussing or presenting new discoveries with other scientists. No, nothing is mentioned in the paragraph. This is very easy. So A is your direct answer. Okay. Yes, he was not an ambitious person. Next, what does Greeny say about some other famous scientists? Okay, there are some other guys as well. So who are they? Some famous scientists such as Newton, Darwin, Einstein, okay, left mountains of written material behind, hundreds of notebooks and letters numbering in tens of thousands. Others, like Michael Faraday, left extensive journals of their thoughts and speculations parallel to their scientific notebooks. The more such material a scientist leaves behind, the better chance a biographer has of forming an accurate picture of how a scientist's ideas took shape and evolved. Okay, good, nice paragraph. Then, what are the options? Their published works had a great impact on Wegener's did. Is it so? Did he talk about the impact on Wagner, their published works? No, not at all. A cannot be. They had fewer doubts of their scientific ideas than Wagner did. He did not talk about any doubts or clarifications in this paragraph, so this cannot be the answer. Their scientific ideas were more controversial than Wagner's. Did he talk about any controversies here, guys? Any controversy? No, not at all, right? So this cannot be the option, Nante. So, uh, they are easier subject to write than Wegener. Wow. Okay, yes, I think yes. They are easier subjects to write about than Wegener. Yes, this is the right option. Because, see, read the last sentence, guys. Okay. The more such material a scientist leaves behind, the better chance a biographer has of forming an accurate picture of how a scientist's ideas took shape and evolved. Yes, they are easy because they left a lot of material. It becomes easy for the biographer to write about the scientist. But Wagner, he did not leave any much of the documents. That's why it has become difficult for Greene to write about him. That's what he's trying to say indirectly, right? So they are easier subjects to write about than Wagner. Yes, good. That is the right option. 39 should be D. And then the last one, what is Green's main point in the final paragraph? Let's read that. The final one. I am firmly of the opinion that most of us, Wagner included, are not in any real sense the authors of our own lives. Yes, we are not the authors of our own life. We plan, okay, we think, we act, often with apparent freedom, but most of the time our lives happen to us. Wow, what a sentence. And we only retrospectively turn this happenstance into a coherent narrative of fulfilled intentions. Okay, this book therefore is a story both of life and scientific work that Alfred Wegener planned and intended, and of the life and scientific work that actually happened to him. Okay, he planned something, but something happened to him. These are, as I think you will see soon, not always the same thing. Yes. So it's a very good paragraph with some deep meaning in that. Okay. Now, let's read the options. It is not enough in life to have good intentions. Hmm. He spoke about intention, but he did not say it is not enough, right? So this cannot be the answer. People need to plan carefully if they want to succeed. No, this is not the option because he says even if you plan, think, and act, life will happen to us ultimately. So this is not the option. So to succeed, no. Hmm. People have little control over many aspects of their lives. Wow, yes, this is the right one. Because what he says, we plan, we think, and we act, but finally life happens to us. Okay. So it is not something whatever we act, whatever we plan that happens to us. No. We are not the authors of our own lives. See, we are not in real sense the authors of our own lives. That is the answer. So people have little control over many aspects of their life. Exactly. C should be the answer. And D, it is important that people ensure that they have freedom to act. No, that is not the right one. Yes, so 40 C is exactly matching with this one. So that should be the right answer. And yes, guys, so with this, we have completed this passage as well. And I'm trying to upload as many passages as possible. So if you have any doubts, please mention that in the comment section. I'll try to answer that. Obviously, I cannot answer like many questions, as you know, because I am also quite busy, but I'll try to answer at least some of you. Okay. Please try to understand that I am getting a lot of comments, likes, so that's why it is very difficult to answer everybody, right? I hope you can understand, guys. So, yes, that is the end of today's video. And if you like my explanation and my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Please share it with your friends who are trying to crack the IELTS test. This will be extremely helpful for you guys. to learn some strategies, tips, and tricks regarding IELTS reading. So, yes, let's meet in some other video with some new passage. Till then, goodbye. Have a good day.